Hey, in case you were hiding under a rock, Steven Stamkos played in this game. But did he finish? If you don't know that, we'll talk about it right now here on Teal Town After Dark. Good evening, everyone. It is Wednesday night, September 23rd, 2020, where we should be watching our first preseason game and maybe enjoying Sharks Fan Fest. We are tuned into Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final instead because of COVID. And what a game it was for the Tampa Bay Lightning. They show some dominance early on and win this game 5-2. Let's talk about it right now on Teal Town After Dark. This is your live interactive Sharks. Normally it's a Sharks post game, but your live interactive hockey post game show. So do us a favor, chat with us and fellow hockey fans in our YouTube chat on the page or the app. Follow us on the social, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, SoundCloud, Reddit, and of course our favorite, Discord. And more in Sharks content. Oh, yeah. Hit us up at tealtownusa.com. Hi, everyone. I am Eric Cura. You can always follow me at PuckGuy14. Yes, that is a weird banner to my right. We'll get to that a little bit later, I think. I think there will be a lot of people going, wait, what? Yeah. For sure. You will definitely find out about this one in a little bit, but something... Hey, eBay's a wonderful thing sometimes. All right. So let's talk about this. Tampa Bay definitely came to play. And, of course, led by their captain, Steven Stamkos, who had been out since February 25th. He eventually ended up having core surgery. Now, of course, we always hear about when you're working out to always work on your core. Well, here's the thing. That's got to be his abdomen, and that's got to be hurting him. Even so, I mean, let's be honest here. If he's not playing early on in the final, you got to wonder how healthy he truly is. And you know that he wanted to get out there to... be with the guys, and yeah, he had his impact, and definitely an impact just in the room alone, I think, would be huge for him. But it's it's something else when you see it. I mean, and I'm going to reference a tweet from Kevin Lacey in a moment, but let's get to the recap here. 5:33 in, and this is really how it all got going. A turnover by Miro Heiskanen, one of the few rare defensive mistakes he makes that he's made in these playoffs. Steals it. He was getting harassed by a good forecheck by Andre Palat. Gives it right to Nikita Kucherov. Kucherov goes in and scores. Makes it 1-0 Tampa. That was a huge goal early on. And then... not even a minute and a half later, Steven Stamkos says, excuse me, gets by the Dallas defense, goes in and fires a rocket of a wrister. I mean, that almost looks like a powerful slap shot that had that much power. Stamkos scores his first goal of the playoffs, obviously. He had been, like I said, the last time he played was February 25th. And so, like 211 days after his last game. That's insane. I mean, that's something else. And he was coming, well, and it's crazy you could say, he played, when he last played, he was on a 15-game point streak. It's something. And sure enough, he scores 658 into his return, to put up the Lightning 2-0. But here's the stat of the night, and we're going to thank NHL PR for this and appreciate you guys for helping us out. He is the first player in over 80 years and second player overall to skate in the first game of his postseason in the Stanley Cup Final and score a goal, only joining Billy Taylor Sr. In Game 2 of the 1940 Stanley Cup Final. Of course, that's the infamous year that the Rangers had previously won the Stanley Cup prior to 94. So that is something else. So a lot of people talking about the background. We'll get to that in a little bit. Of course, Dallas would come back. Jason Dickinson had a really good night. He got 2 goals, the first of which was a shorthanded goal later in the first to cut it down to 2-1, and Dallas kind of changed the momentum a little bit there. They really dominated the first period outside of that because they outshot Tampa Bay 16-8, and even then, I mean, there was a time where I think it was like 12-1 in the shots after Tampa had scored their second goal. So while it got some momentum for Tampa to get going, definitely got more momentum for Dallas as they kept coming on to try to stifle the momentum that Tampa had gained. But after that, Dallas would only have 8 shots the rest of the way as Tampa would go on a run here. They would go in the second period out shooting Dallas 21-4 and scoring 3 in the second period. Victor Hedman, his 10th goal of the postseason to make it 3-1 Tampa. He's just the 3rd defenseman in NHL history with the double-digit goal total in a single playoff year, joining Paul Coffey from the '85 Oilers and Brian Leetch from the Rangers in 1994 with 11. So there is a shot. There is a shot for Victor Hedman to break the NHL playoff record for most goals for a defenseman in the game. So Victor Hedman getting that one in there to make it 3-1. And literally all the Lightning players came out to play tonight. The big guys, including Hockey Jerks Braden Point. He gets his 11th to lead the league in goal scoring now, from Kucherov and Hedman at 12:02 to make it 4-1, and that's kind of the goal that kind of finished it off for Tampa. But Andre Palat went in with 1:05 left in the second period to cut it down to open it up to 5-1, and that was pretty much it for Anton Khudobin on this night. And considering that there is a back-to-back scenario coming up on Friday and Saturday, it makes sense to just give him some rest. So Ottinger would come in for the third period, and while Ottinger stopped everything in the third, Miro Heiskanen would get credit for the goal. They originally gave it to Jason Dickinson. They have now changed it back to Heiskanen, his 6 from Pavelski and Andrew Cogliano at 6:49 on the backhand. It looked like they were originally thinking it deflected off of Dickinson for the goal, but it looks like it didn't go off of him, and they asked after the game who got it. So Heiskanen with his 6th, not Dickinson, so Dickinson only with 1 goal in the night at 6:49 the third on the backhand. Not sure if it was a rocket backhander, but we'll digress on that in the meantime. But that would be all your scoring. But of course, this game got a little more feistier later going for Dallas, including former Shark on former Shark violence. And of course, we would love to share the pictures of Joe Pavelski cross-checking Barclay Goodrow. Looks like either in the rib or in the hip, maybe in the elbow. Didn't feel good about that afterwards. Scrum came along. Pavs would get, make sure, because of course NHL.com is that good with their stats. Yeah, it's just a double minor for Pavs on the night. He did have that 1 assist on the second Dallas goal. So that's where it would be at for sure. MLS Fan 20, Nolan, thank you for watching during an Earthquakes match. I appreciate it. Hey, Eric, Golda says go Lightning. Golda is Nolan's girlfriend correct me if I'm wrong, Nolan, but from Florida, definitely is a huge Tampa Bay fan, but also a diehard Sharks fan. So representing her hometown well this evening for sure. Raphael Snit, and I hope I'm saying that correctly. Pav's cross-checking goodie was so sad to watch. Yeah, that was a tough one. That one was a tough one. Sleepy Mofo saying, seriously, hope Goodrow's okay. The frustration getting in there for sure for Pavs and among the Dallas Stars. Um, you also have to wonder what in the world Pavs was doing. I know he was trying to send messages early on, but that's an interesting one. Definitely don't think there was any bad blood between Goodrow and Pavelski prior to this series. So, how quickly things change in just a few months' time, or just within a year for that matter. Seriously. And looking at some of the stats or some of the comments you've been making, of course, feel free to hit us up on the super chat if you'd like to make a donation. It goes back to help support the show and a little bit of Google, but either way. Damn, if Tampa Bay plays like this the rest of the series, the hockey season will end with a Game 5. Yes. I mean, Stamkos definitely gave them a shot in the dark or a quick lightning strike per se, if you want to look at that, where the team really got shot out of the cannon. And of course, that term should be actually used for the Columbus Blue Jackets, but I digress. But after that steal for Kucherov to score, making it 1-0, and then Stamkos comes back a minute and a half later, let me read the tweet from Kevin Lacey here on it, and what did he say? Stamkos scores in return. Goodbye, Dallas. I'll rarely say a game is over after 7 minutes, but this game is over. I played in a game with a returning player like this, and once you get that type of adrenaline punch, you don't lose. See ya for Game 4. And and it turns out he was right. Granted, the Stamkos. It was reported that he took a brief 20-second shift in the second period, but I really didn't see him out there at all. And he would go back in. Definitely had some conversations with the trainer and left after that. Wasn't seen for the third period, so who knows what happened there. We'll see what happens, down the road. Again, games 4 and 5 are back-to-back. Could you see maybe him playing the back end, depending on how the series goes? Now that Tampa has the series lead, you start wondering if, okay, maybe you rest him up. Maybe you give him a relax. See where he's at. Can he go a little bit? We'll see. I mean, you don't want to make permanent damage to your body if you don't have to. So, forgive me, it is warm in here. We have the AC going on. But let's briefly get to the jersey of the night before we continue on with the stats. This one coming to me via a trade from AJ. I traded him some of my blank jerseys that I had to get this one. That's right, the Logan Couture Heritage jersey. Will we see something like this the coming months? We wait to see. So, and a lot of you asking about it already, and I'll go through it. That banner in the background, though, Puck Guy, oh my gosh. Sleepy Mofo, by looking at the background, if I didn't know the better, I would have thought the Sharks just played. Oh man, yeah. I wish the Sharks were only playing. Found this on eBay. And sometimes you take a chance on something. I thought it would be like a tiny little banner, kind of like the size of this hockey sign right here for a goof up, and and sure enough, it was a full on flag for $10. So why not take a chance on phantom merchandise? One day I hope we get something like that. So Kurt Price, our friend at Let's Go Blues Radio, I was watching a TSN Darren Drager clip on Petrangelo, and this was the video that autoplayed. That's some rabbit hole. Well, if Darren Drager is coming to us for autoplay on YouTube, oh well, you're stuck with me, Kurt. But glad to have you here. Hope you're doing well. Fingers crossed on Alex Petrangelo for you guys. Good luck with that. For the love of God, don't make him sign with Toronto. Oh my God, we do not need another guy going to Toronto for some odd reason. I don't know how they'll fill out the rest of their lineup if they do, but we'll see about that. Comments coming in about Pavs not winning from some Golden Knights fans. Well, you didn't win either. What can I say? So, on the night, Anton Khudobin had a rough go. 5 goals allowed on just 29 shots. Rough go. Ottinger would only make 3 saves in the third. After that, it was really tight checking third period that pretty much saw both teams just shut it down. Some extracurricular activities going on, even Jamie Benn getting into it with Tampa players, So, Kurt, keep up the good work, sir. Of course, likewise to you guys. If you haven't checked out Let's Go Blues Radio, check us out there. So, Sleepy Mofo, does Bishop start the next game? He is unfit to play. He is unfit to play right now. That's why Ottinger went in the third period. Unless he's feeling any better, and remember how he came back for that one game against Colorado, kind of sucks. Kind of sucks there. What's with the thumbs down, people? Come on. Let's get those thumbs back up. We got 11 watching people. Come on, let's get those thumbs up. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that notification bell. That'll notify you when I come back on with Game 4 and Game 5. That's for sure going to happen. Let's take a look at the schedule going on here. So Tampa Bay is up 2-1 in this series. They with the 5-2 victory. You have Game 4 Friday at 5 p.m. You have Game 5 right back at it Saturday at 5 p.m. I think it's just an absolute travesty that they are going to do that. I just let them have an extra day off, NHL. I know you want to get this thing over and done with, but my goodness, you're going to wear out these guys. And, these two teams alone, along with maybe Vegas and the Islanders, are got to be a little drained out of this just from everything that's gone down. I just not sure. And MLS Fan 20, I don't know who thought it was a great idea to do back-to-back games in the Stanley Cup final round. Yeah, I'm right with you, bud. I am right with you on that, just because of how to get through this all. Maybe we can get it. Maybe I can get a special guest. We'll see. I don't know. In the chat, Sleepy Mofo, if Tampa Bay wins it all Saturday, the state of Florida doesn't need another excuse to gather in large groups during the pandemic. Oh boy. Texas and Florida. I mean, I know they showed the patio area around Amalie Arena in Tampa, but they are having some social distancing parties. Dallas is having a 20% capacity for a viewing party at American Airlines Center. I mean, you kind of wonder. You kind of wonder if this is all for naught. You know, at this point, would you rather go 20% capacity in those arenas for this Cup final? And yeah, you don't have much revenue for fans, but at the same time, um, obviously the bubble has worked and it's worked a lot better. But I mean, come on, it's crazy. It's really crazy. So, some stats. Let's go over some stats here a little bit here. You know, Victor Hedman got his 50th career playoff assist on the Stamkos goal. You know, the only active defenseman other than Hedman to score 50 career postseason assists. Chicago's Duncan Keith. You know, the guy that essentially was put ahead of Joe Thornton in the NHL. You know, 100 for sure. Jumbo Polini. What COVID party? No invite. Sorry, but not gonna have that here in the Bay Area, and that's for damn sure. Uh, oh man. Miro Heiskanen scores to cut the Stars deficit to 5-2, as we mentioned it. 24 points in this postseason, tied for most by an active defenseman in a playoff year with Brent Burns when he went on to the 2016 Stanley Cup final run with the Sharks. Only 5 defensemen in NHL history have recorded 25 or more points in a postseason. As we mentioned, Victor Hedman's closing in on the league postseason record for most goals by a defenseman. He is now 2 away. He has 10 on the campaign or on the postseason mark. So kind of interesting to see because I definitely haven't seen a lot of offensive defensemen or a number of offensive defensemen doing what they've been doing. You know, I think 2020 marks like the 5th time the NHL has seen multiple defensemen score 20 plus points in a single playoff year. I believe it's like the first since 91. So, you know, congrats to like Heiskanen and Hedman alone. Just have done a fantastic job for it. So with the win, you know, Tampa does go up 2-1 now, and you start wondering, okay, what's the chances? Well, teams are up 2-1 in a best of 7 series, in the playoffs overall, own an all-time record of 70%, including an 11-1 mark in 2020. Only one team has come back from a 2-1 deficit, and it was the Stars who reeled off 3 wins to get past the Flames in the first round. So there you go. So a pretty good mark for 2-1. Of course, going up 3-1 would be huge for Tampa Bay, and of course the add-on to the to their run would be huge here. Let's see. Can we try and see if we can get somebody here? Trying to see if we might get somebody. Bueller. No. Oh, that's too bad. So, with that, if you missed it or anything, I did I wouldn't say break the news, but we did have a Teal Town Live when Bob Bugner was officially named head coach of the San Jose Sharks. You can check that over on tealtownusa.com. Of course, also always subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that notification bell. When we do go on the air, when some news breaks, we go on the air like that. So be on the lookout for that, or we'll have a nightly recap of the day's action going on. And of course, we do Teal Town After Dark after every Sharks game. So if you're a Sharks fan or a hockey fan that just craves coverage that you don't get anywhere else, especially on sports talk radio, especially in the United States, hit that subscribe button down below. We appreciate each and every one of you on here. So, with that, no real major news, I don't think. We got Bugner. Can Petrangelo go to somewhere other than that? And here's the other thing for free agency. How are you going to sign these guys? I mean, the Blues told him to explore free agency. I don't get it. So, I just don't understand it. So, but it is what it is. I mean, it's something else. But and Sleepy Mofo mentioning, even with the Bugner news already expected, I'm glad to hear Sharks news since March. Yeah, definitely some mixed reaction following the name of Bugner as coach. Again, I'm curious to see if DW actually did his due diligence and interviewed other coaches in meanwhile. So you hope that was the case and went with Bugner. He looks like he's got a pretty decent coaching staff. Rocky Thompson is an up-and-comer coach, and getting the assistant coach spot in the NHL squad is a huge thing. So, that'd be amazing to have. You also have John Madden, who, has some championship pedigree as well. Definitely seen multiple championships from all of these coaches in some form. Of course, Nabby has learned from the great Warren Strelo on his on goaltending. So you're hoping that can carry forward to with whoever is manning the net. I mean, yes, Martin Jones is under contract for quite some time. We do not know what's going to happen with Aaron Dell. We do not know what on earth the starting goaltender or the backup goaltender, or will the Sharks go 1A 1B like many minding tandems have done now these days. It's going to be interesting to watch what the offseason is going to bring. And the offseason, whatever it is, it is so close. I mean, yeah, we could by September 25th have a Stanley Cup champion. And also, October 6th and 7th, we'll have the draft. We'll have that coverage for you. We'll definitely be doing a lot of things during the off season. So again, stay tuned. Check us out on Teal Town USA here on YouTube and tealtownusa.com. And of course, follow us everywhere on the social. We really pour our hearts into all of this. So really appreciate each and every one of you joining us. And in case you missed anything or you want to watch this again, check us out on tealtownusa.com. We're your favorite podcatcher, which includes Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and always available at tealtownusa.com. So with that, I will get out of here. I'm Eric Cura. You can follow me right here at PuckGuy14 on the Twitter and the Instagram. Of course, follow us on the social, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, and such. And of course, hit that subscribe button. Check out all of our content right over here. Right here. We got some interviews during the pause. Check that out. And of course, we'll be back with you following Game 4 on Friday. So until then, keep it real. Keep it teal. Keep it real teal. Have a great night, everyone. We will see you Friday night after Game 4.